24th of Kislev marks the Hilula of a great Syrian-American rabbi. His name was Rabbi Shaul Kassin, really great rabbi of yesteryear, who we've spoken about before on various occasions. He passed away, I believe, at the start of December in 2018, 6 years ago from the time of recording. His Hilula is a Chaf Dalet Kislev, 24th of Kislev. I believe he was 97 years of age at the time of passing. I believe he was born in English year 1921. Let's explore some of the highlights of the great rabbi's life, the great American Syrian rabbi Chacham. Very interesting enough. So he was born in the year 1921. I believe he spent his early years in Israel, and I believe at the age of 12 years old, he came to the United States of America, and he would learn inside yeshiva there. He attended the yeshiva Ohel Moshe, very interesting enough, which was a very great yeshiva. And then later on, he would actually attend the famous Yeshiva University, where many great rabbis came from, especially in modern day. And very interesting enough. And I believe he achieved the highest honors over there. He achieved a smicha, rabbinic ordination, and he was appointed a rabbi. And very much, he came from a great family. And the Kassin was a rabbinic dynasty in himself, and many great rabbis came from that line of the family. It's actually interesting. It was reported over he would actually go on to become the Chachamud, to become, let's say, the right-hand man for his father, who happened to be the chief rabbi at the time, Rabbi Yaakov Kassin. For many years it was. I think many of the various important decisions in the community were made, and he was by the side listening and part of the decision-making process, or listening to it very much. It was various different takanot, the important takanot that came in the community, which was strengthened at later stages in time. Especially there was a famous takanot, I think in the year 1935, which was reaffirmed and edicted again, I believe in the year 1985, which was he was part of, let's just say, that reaffirmation in of itself. I believe it was reported over in the year 1975. Rabbi Shaul Kassin, he established the first mikveh in Brooklyn, on Avenue S, which is a very great Jewish area in of itself, Torah area in itself, in Brooklyn. And very interesting enough. And he would also go on and establish an eruv in Brooklyn for the whole community of itself. So not just the Syrian Jews would very much benefit from this. Various different Jewish religious communities are in that vicinity, as we know very much else. And it was very important for Shabbat, Oneg Shabbat in of itself. People can now, there's a leniencies, let's just say, for people to carry in of itself. And he would make many important decisions for the community itself. He stood strongly with what decision makings were right in of itself. He was very promoting the importance of tzniut in the community in of itself, the levels of the Torah levels in of itself, the tzniut levels of various different events, of smachot, and was very important, which is obviously a very essential point to every Torah community in of itself. And much more can be related. It was shared huge amounts of wisdom and great thoughts in the community itself. It's reported over that he wrote specifically 2 books: The Light of the Law the Light of the Law and Mitzvot, and the second book, the Mitzvot Hashem. And it's actually interesting. I read over here in a very good article with regards to the great Chacham that one time there was a motto he had with regards to fruits, peirot in of itself. How do you eat a fruit? The question could be posed. The answer would probably be, if you're asking this question to somebody, I make a blessing first and then eat the fruit. However, the greatness of Rabbi Chacham Shaul Kassin, he would answer that this approach is not necessarily the best approach, let's just say, within regards to the answer. He would explain that if you, let's say, for example, have an orange or an apple, you first begin to peel away the covering of the fruit. He then compared, let's say, this peel of fruit to the flaws of a Jew. Everyone's got maybe shortcomings or not the best at everything. However, when dealing with a person and human being, one should start by peeling away the flaws and seeking the good in all the Jews in every specific way. Much like the good is, let's say, revealed in the fruit once the covering is peeled away. And much more things can be said. He was sensitive with regards to different people's feelings with regards to different halachot, and which is very reported over in various different articles. He comes from a very long line and great lineage of very influential rabbis. It's reported over he had international global connections with various different dignitaries across the world, kings, Nesiim, presidents and prime ministers of foreign countries. It's reported over. He leveraged relationships to communicate to various different foreign leaders, including the kings of Morocco and Jordan, in fact. And I believe the president of Syria, that he was able to, there was communication, the importance of keeping the peace and the protection for all of the Jews in all their kingdoms in of itself. He saw because he was working, he was by the side of his father, Rabbi Shaul Kassin. He saw the love and care that his father gave. And it's actually interesting. His father would appoint him to become the next Chalabi chief rabbi for the Aleppo Jews, the Syrian community in of itself, which after Rabbi Shaul Kassin passed away, he would actually become the chief rabbi. And he was helping many, many hundreds of various different charitable organizations, charities, not just within regards to the community, but worldwide, and was really strengthening Yahadut and religiosity within regards to the community. It's actually reported over, he had actually a routine and where he would get up at midnight and sit on the floor while reading Tikkun Chatzot. Obviously, that's midnight prayer for the destruction of remembering the two Bet HaMikdashes, the two temples in himself. Reported over, he would cry heavily every single night and pour his heart and soul, let's just say, into this tefillot in of itself. He cared so much about the Jewish people and the community in itself, and yearned for, all of Am Yisrael to live in the direct presence of the Shekhinah of Hashem, like we did thousands of years ago at the time of the Bet HaMikdash. And very interesting, he had unique care and love for the community in itself, did everything he could, let's just say, to make religion, let's say, also easier and as beautiful as it can be, like the splendorous of the religion, Yahadut in of itself. And he passed away at the start of December in the English year 2018. So we're talking about 16 years ago from the time of recording. I believe the funeral itself took place. It started in America, and the coffin was flown to Israel, I believe, and he was buried in Jerusalem. And I think the greatest rabbis of Israel actually was there. It's actually reported over, he would also spend a window of time learning in the famous Yeshivat Porat Yosef in Israel. This was, and he was married to, his wife's name was Rabbanit Tzipora, and he was really, really, I believe his entire tenure as a chief rabbi of the community was a 24-year period. So he very much was one of the great rabbis, let's just say, of American Jewry in of itself, came from a great line and of great rabbis in himself. And it's actually interesting, I think he happened to be also the brother-in-law of the famous Chacham Baruch ben Chaim, also a very great rabbi in of itself. So maybe we'll speak about in a separate video about the great rabbinic dynasty of the rabbinic family of the Kassin family, maybe at a later stage, because they were really, really great rabbis, really very much representing the Chalabi community of yesteryear. He passed away, he was 97 years of age at the time of passing. I believe he had 4 sons and 3 daughters, and they continued very much in his great Torah way of itself. So please don't forget to light candles in the great rabbi's memory. It's going to be on the 24th of Kislev, one day before the festival of Hanukkah. And friends, we've covered already, we've spoken about probably more than 50 great Syrian rabbis of yesteryear. Please, if you happen to be related to any of these great rabbanim we're speaking about, it will be great to hear more. And please subscribe to the channel, watch over the videos of the great rabbanim in of itself. Everyone get a calendar, and in your room, in your kitchen, or wherever it is, and put it down, mark all the hilulot of all the great rabbanim of yesteryear, because we really had many tens of thousands of great rabbis from all over the world vicinities in itself. So Rabbi Shaul Kassin Z'tl, one of the great rabbis of American Jewry and from Israel originally. So wishing you all well, and a Shavuot Tov Mevorach.